Hi friends! Today we're going to use an old canvas that I never finished to do a painting and make something that I didn't like into something that I really do like and feel really good about. Show that everything has a second chance in life. And also, really quick note, this was totally inspired by Post Malone Circles, completely random. But anyways, first thing we're going to do is cover it up with a nice base coat. We want to do that just so that, none of the what's there can really seep through at the end of this. And there's where I completely messed up and panicked, and then I realized that I messed it up before. It's all good. It's supposed to be like that. So we're gonna keep going. And yeah, you just want to get it one solid color over top. Again, also this will help the other wet paint start sticking to it better. Just good rule of painting. So now I want to start to add what's actually going to be there and frame it out more or less. That makes it a little easier to keep painting as we go along. So we're going to first start off by making our wave. We're going to do that by blending the blue and the white together and then kind of making an S curve across the canvas. And then I'm also going to work more blue and at some point some black into this bottom because we want to make it water at the bottom and we're going to put sky up at the top. So they kind of got to work out to be two different colors. They got to contrast each other so you can actually tell there's a difference between the. Now I think this would qualify as simply artist panic, that at this point I'm worried that not enough of what I'm going to do is going to cover what's already here, and so I kind of just started frantically covering it in blue to begin with and then adding some more dimension and depth as I went along to try to cover the real problem spots, because again, like I said, artist panic, I did not think this was going to cover at a point and I was like, what in the world, you've undertaken too big of a task, you're crazy. Yeah, pretty much thought quarantine was making me go insane and that I had done something crazy, but it turns out well, so trust me, it's worth sticking around for. As much as I'm silly talking here, def silly talk. And now I decided that the moon needed to be here because I like the moon. I think the best I like the moon, but also for some reason I just thought it'd be a lot prettier to do this at nighttime. So I'm adding some more of the wave and some more dimension kind of to that bottom of the ocean. I want to make sure that it ends up more dark at the bottom, but there are some spots where I already kind of know that I'm going to put things, and so I'm also trying to create luminescence around certain things. Because of course I know where this is going. I am the lucky future me, but also planner of this whole thing that has the total idea of what's going on here. You all are just along for the ride. Alright, so again, we're just building up our wave. And semi-artist panic, just worried that oh my gosh, if I don't build it enough, it won't be enough. But I don't honestly share my paintings a whole lot for this exact reason, because it's kind of just I don't know, panic until it goes right process. We keep painting and keep painting, and if it goes wrong, you can always paint back over it. There's no shame in that. Trust me, there's no shame in that. And that's kind of like life. Even if things go wrong, you can just pick back up, change them, and restart all over again. Just like the canvas. I don't know, I like to think that times like this, when you're kind of forced to take a break and forced to take a better look at things, you can always take this as an opportunity to be hey, I don't like this, or I do like this, and I'm going to go with this, or I'm going to change this. And here, friends, is where I'd like to dedicate a moment of painting to Bob Ross, for always inspiring me, keeping me going, and reminding me that happy little accidents happen, and they always make a painting beautiful, unique, and yours. But really, there's a happy little accident that's coming that I think is quite amazing and funny, and really did actually change where I went with this. But also, Bob Ross really did help me to just feel okay. Feel okay with the fact that I didn't paint like any of the magical, fantastical museum painters that I had ever seen. But I painted like me, and that was special enough, and that was all I really needed to be. I don't know, it always made me feel better and made me like my paintings more, made me want to do it more. And I did actually learn a lot of real technique from the joy of painting. So if you feel like you can't paint or you don't know how, definitely go watch some of his videos. Yeah, he did a lot of nature, but he shared a lot of technique and a lot of really cool stuff. Definitely. And so here, I started to outline my actual important focal pieces. What is, I don't know, I think a siren and a little boy on a boat. And I don't know, I think it's kind of like that shared moment that will never be forgotten type thing. And that's what it made me think of with circles. That's why the two work together. I know Circles is a love song and a love lost song, and it is really heartbreaking. But I don't know, that's kind of what the sirens were. And I don't really feel like I understand my art completely even to try to explain it, but also I think that's kind of the beauty of art, is it's not always things that make sense or things that have to be real. You know, paintings can be just as much fiction as any sort of writing or story tale can be. And they can still tell you a beautiful story. I like that. So again, we're panicking and we're adding more to the waves, which, trust me, will get really funny here in a minute, but I think it was worth it because I ended up building up some dimension around the ship that I think it really needed. I also highlighted some things in white, like the little boy and the tail, so that the colors I'm about to put on them will show through even better. And of course, now we have to build some dimension with black, and something that I did with both black and white was I used two textures of paint. So you can buy a really thin, runny acrylic paint, or what I have in the tube sitting there is a really thick, pasty paint. And that'll really let you build up dimension as well as building up color. And I think they're really cool. You can do some just wild effects with them and really build them up. So we kind of had to really finish out her tail. She looked a little bit too much like a crab and not so much like a siren. And the moon! Back to the moon, because I love the moon. So I kind of wanted to highlight it because I thought that'd be really pretty. And believe it or not, it does still show through the gray. Even if you can only very faintly see it, it's still there and it's still changing the color of that gray. And then I got brave and I got my paint, knife out and decided to start using it to add dimension. Yay, Bob Ross, for inspiring me and actually making me feel brave enough to use the thing for once. And honestly, I think it turned out really well, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So we come back in now and we're going to add to the moon, and here's our happy little accident. Wait for it. We're going to take our hand back up and you'll see what I did. And I tried desperately to fix it. Oh my gosh. Panic. Now we're like, okay, well, we're going to rock with this because Bob Ross, happy little accident. So we finish up our moon. And I got some more white and I made a cloud. And honestly, I had decided at first that I wasn't going to do clouds because I was like, that will clutter things up too much. You do not need to do this. Stop overthinking this. And then the happy little accident kind of dictated that I had to have clouds because I wasn't going to try to fix that background, to be honest. Oh my goodness, no. And we also had to add a second cloud for balance. So there was that. But then because we did that, we decided that we were going to add a little depth to our sail. And we signed it. And here is our finished presentation. Like I said, very randomly inspired by Post Malone's Circles. Have a great day, y'all.